vibrations, you know, different elements, all right, you know, was on them, and it probably gave off a shine, and she probably, man, she almost, man, she was a fan. It says verse 6, and she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in my own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. So that's how you know it's big, because word travel now. Word did travel to Black Wall Street, all right, you know, because Esau knew that Jake was doing a thing, all right, but this right here was on a whole nother level, all right. This was on a whole nother level. These are some whole other nation from afar coming around, all right. Now let's keep going. Let's keep going. It says, verse 7, howbeit I believe not the words until I came and my eyes had seen it. And behold, and that's what's going to happen in the kingdom. Let me get that real quick. It says in Micah that they shall come up. Isaiah says the same thing as well, you know, because what? They're going to understand that the glory is dealing with Israel, man. They're going to understand that the same way they got to come to summit meetings to deal with Esau, because Esau's in power. Well, this is going to be a whole nother level. They're going to want to learn, because Esau taught the people of his ways. That's why the nations is turned out. But they're going to understand. They're going to see these ways. Let's get it. Micah 4:1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord, which is Israel, you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right, shall be established in the top of the mountains, all right? You're going to be in the top of the governments, all right? Now look at that. So-called black man on top of the world. Ain't that a sight to see? It says, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. It's going to be exalted. The other hills, the other governments, the other nations, societies, is going to be above that. And what? It said people shall flow unto it. Same thing Queen Sheba did. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths, for the Lord shall go forth from Zion, and the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua from Jerusalem. See? So we're going to get that. That's why I say the restitution before the fall, because that's what was happening during Solomon. You ain't have nations coming to try to, hey, Black Wall Street, all people, how you do? They wasn't doing that. All right? It says, finish at verse 7, and behold, the half was not told me, thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. She said, man, you exceed the fame. You exceed the rumors. Usually rumors is bigger than what it really are. You know, when people tell you a story, they make it bigger than what it is. But this is a time where the rumor was less than the actual man himself. hey, man. This is bad. Verse 8. Happy are thy men. Happy are these thy servants. Hey, who's happy in Esau's captivity being a servant? Ain't nobody. You got goddamn riots all over the place. They're burning down Wendy's, burning down Targets, burning everything down. Ain't no happy servants here. You know, people uproars, rioting all over the damn place. You see? There's no happy servants here. But Solomon, hey, there was a peaceful and happy servant during that time of his empire, during the time of his rulership. And why? Again, because the Heavenly Father sanctioned it that way. All right, that's how the Lord set it up and put it on high. And that, again, the restitution, going back before the fall, that's the actual state where we're going to be put back on. You see? So going back to 1 Kings chapter 10, it says, verse 9, it says, blessed be the Lord. All right, let me finish verse 8. Which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom. Hey, she said they were just blessed just to hear the words of Solomon, just to hear it. And that's what the scriptures say, man. You know, if any of them hear, you know, they shall be healed. Verse 9, blessed be the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua thy God, which delighted in thee to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel forever. Therefore had he be a king to do judgment and justice. And you know what just came to my mind? What's another thing that sticks out? All right, it says before the fall. The restitution shall be the things before the fall. All right, now before the fall, and it was perfect, who was in rulership? We're reading about King Solomon, the Israelites. So we're gonna go back to the state before the fall. That means that it have to be the Israelites in power again. You know, the scriptures don't miss a beat. It makes sense. All right, it makes sense. Okay, you know, it make complete sense, man. All right, that's how the Lord has set it up, man. It's like this tree being cut down. All right, and You the Lord say, hey, we're gonna restore that tree. It get cut down. We're gonna restore the tree back to its former state. Is the tree gonna be anything outside this tree right here? Is it gonna just so happen to be a pineapple tree and apples all over it? No, it's gonna go back to being this same tree, all right? And that's the same way, you know? Now, it just so happened that we were scattered abroad, so the confusion of face kick in, all right? But it's still dealing with the Israelites. Let's keep it plain and simple. And you know what? That just came through the Spirit, but because, again, it said before the fall, when it was perfect. We reading about it, all right? And she just mentioned it through the Spirit, all right? She said because the Lord loved Israel. So if he loved Israel before the fall, all right, was he not going to love, he going to love everybody else? No, he's still going to love Israelites. So he looked like a so-called white man, and he's in his truth, and he do get beamed up. Yeah, that's because he was Israelite, all right? Simple as that. Simple as that, all right? Now let's go back down to 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 9. It says, forever, therefore made he the king to do judgment and justice. Verse 10, and she gave the king 120 talents of gold and of the spice. And that's what it speaks of in Isaiah the 60th chapter, that their gates shall be. Why in a future prophecy, going back, because this is how the things were before. You understand what I'm saying? Isaiah 60 talks about our gates being open and I'm bringing these gifts, and we sitting here reading about it, that this was done. Isaiah is talking about a future prophecy. We're reading about kings, that happened during that time. And we read in Acts that it shall be as before the fall, when it's at a perfect state. So it's going to be the same way. The Israelites going to be in power, all right? King Solomon going to be Yahweh, King David, right? And guess what? They're going to be bringing gifts. The same way Queen Sheba doing. She's doing it right here. And guess what? She's going to be back too. Like Haram, we're going to read about it. It says, 120 in gold and spices, very great, stored in precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these which the Queen Sheba gave unto Solomon. Hey, because they know the spices. They get them frankincense. They get all types of stuff, man. You know. Matter of fact, Solomon's favorite myrrh, if you research it, is the sweet myrrh. Hey, and that sweet myrrh, that thing is nice. You know, that was Solomon Ali Bon. I forgot how you say it, but it's sweet myrrh. All right. Hey, she probably brought him the sweet myrrh and these different, different spices and herbs and stuff. Okay. It said it was none great. It said no more such abundance of spices as these which the Queen Sheba gave to Solomon. She gave abundance. Verse 11. And then in the navy also of Haram. Now Haram was another heathen. All right. So this is the relationship of the waters. Because they beefing over the South China Sea. They beefing over the merchants and these different things. All right. Because this kingdom can't get along, but our kingdom is going to get along very swell, because it's going to be the same way as the time of Solomon, and they got along. It says in the navy also, Haram, right, that brought gold from Ophir, and that day was in Peru. All right, when you really go into the Ophir, the land of the Ophir is Peru. All right, it says brought in from Ophir great plenty of almug trees. Look at that, almug trees and precious stones. Now, when you go into the word Brazil, they go, you look at the word metal, and in Hebrew it goes back to, or iron, it goes back to the Barzel. And Brazil, pretty much in the Hebrew, is saying that. This is the land of iron and ore. All right? Ore goes back to having gold and these precious stones. All right? To shine. All right? And that's where they got it from. They got it from South America. Because South America, matter of fact, they have found a huge emerald. South America had a lot of gems. The Americas was well good, man, before the devil came in and raped, robbed, and murdered. That's how you know who the devil, who took all the resources. Esau. During the time of Solomon, they took a lot of resources, but the land was restored. It took them a year, and Esau done came here and dug everything out continually. It says, verse 12, and the king made of the almug trees pillars for the house. So his man, what's an almug tree, man? His house was made of almug trees. What is Black Wall Street? This is what I'm saying. Why we can't go back to even better? Black Wall Street wasn't made of no out. We ain't had no stuff like that, man. Almug woods. Look at this thing, man. This thing looks hella nice. almug wood. You see? And that was during the time of Solomon. And when you look up almug wood, it said was used in the temples built during King Solomon. His relationship, the almug tree can only be related to Solomon, not Black Wall Street. All right. So it says for the king's house, harps also, so the harps and psalteries for singers. There came no such almug trees, nor was seen unto this day. Them trees were never seen before, and that's what Haran brought. See, that's why you deal with the, you know, you gotta have the relationships with the heathen, and that's how it's gonna be set up right in the kingdom. They brung trees that they'd never seen before, man, and they made psalteries and stuff out of it. So imagine the music that was coming out of them instruments, man. And see, Esau has that, and that's why also it's gonna come back to a restitution. We're gonna get that as well in Job 28:18, because he had taken the things that was up. Because also our fall, all right, this was our fall before, you know, at being perfect state. But we also, the major fall was in 70 AD. All right, and when we fell then and we fled, all right, and then we got brought in cargo slave ships later on. All right, they took everything. All right, I'm gonna try to wrap this up, not be too long. But it says verse 12, and the king made of the almug trees pillars for the house of the Lord, and for the king's house harps also psalteries for singers. There came no such almug tree, nor was seen to this day. And King Solomon gave unto the queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked. Besides that which Solomon gave her of his royal bounty, so she turned